All right, this is the last step in paper macheing your pig. First of all, you got to get your glue ready. So you're going to put a little bit of glue in your cup, mix it with about an equal amount of water. If you had a lot of leftover glue yesterday, it might already be kind of watery. Stir it up. That's what this paintbrush is really good for, is stirring it up. You want it nice and thin like that. First thing you're going to do is look at your pig and see if there are any places that you missed. And I do have a place that I missed. So that's where the bottle is showing through. Now, if you have a green bottle, look for green things. If you have a clear bottle, look for shiny parts. And then put a little bit of glue over top of it. You can see the paintbrush, the toothbrush is good for smoothing down this paper. That's why I thought it'd be a good idea if you used a toothbrush, but you can smooth down the paper with your fingers too, like that. So look over your whole pig that you've done so far. If there's any places where the paper's peeling off, just put another piece of paper right over that. And then, now another method you can use is just dunking the paper in like that too, and putting it over and rubbing it down gently so you don't rub it back off again. All right, so next we're going to be doing the rest of your pig. So you're going to take a piece of paper that is a little bit longer and skinnier than the paper you've been using, and we're going to cover the backs of the ears first. Now, you don't want to just paper mache this part of the ear. You want the paper to go up on the back of the head right here and then up the ear like that. And then you need, of course, some glue. Now you can put the glue directly on the paper. You put glue directly on the paper like this, both sides. Okay, and then put it on the back of the head and go up the ear. Any extra paper, fold it around to the front. Now you have to totally cover that ear. So you want to cover up all of that cardboard because you want it to be white. And then fold the rest of the paper around to the front of the ear. Like that. When you got the back of one ear done, you're going to do the same thing to the other ear. You got to do one right down the middle too, in between these ears, to cover up that masking tape that's in between there. So I've got the whole back of the ear done. So I'm going to do the back of this ear. I'll try to do it facing you so it might make it easier for you to see. Like this, and then fold any extra paper around to the front. So this is how it's going to help hold the ear up. If you just paper mache the ear without going on the back of the pig's head, it wouldn't stay up. So very important for you to put some of the paper on right behind the pig's ear, and then see I'm folding it around to the front like that. So there's just a little bit more to go. We don't want that blue showing because you're going to be painting it and you might not want blue cardboard showing through your paint. We want to make the whole pig beautiful and white. Now you're going to do the front of the ear. Same thing, very important. So I'm going to put some glue on both sides of the paper, and you're going to put a piece of paper so that it starts off on your pig's head and goes up the ear, kind of like an L shape. And be sure and rub it down because you want it to stick. You don't want a big bubble in the way. You don't want it to go like that. Okay, so we'll do that with the other ear just to show you what I mean, like that. Now we got to cover the rest of the front of the ear. So a lot of it's already covered up because when I did the back of the ear, I folded paper around to the front. And there we go. All right, I'm going to kind of fold the ear a little bit. If you want your pig's ear to be bent over or stand up straight, however you want the pig's ear, that's the way we got to let it dry today. All right, so let's cover the rest of this ear. Folding it around to the back like that. As long as you rub down every piece of paper, it's going to dry and stick. So I'm going to kind of bend this ear a little bit so it stands up that way. Oh, did I get the whole ear? Yeah, I think I did. Next, you're going to flip your pig over. This is probably going to mess up the ears. We'll reposition them later. But you've got to do your pig's chin. This is where your pig's mouth is going to be right here. I'm just going to rub a little glue there, and then you'll be doing the nose too. So here's a piece of paper that's going to go on the chin. Now the curved part of the bottle, you have to use smaller pieces of paper, little tiny pieces, so you overlap them. If you use a really big piece of paper, it's going to wrinkle, and you don't want your pig to have a wrinkly face. So to keep the wrinkles, and it's going to be a little bit wrinkly because it is paper, but you don't want big wrinkles by having too big of pieces of paper. So that's why we had to tear our paper smaller for this part. This is why we're doing this part last, because it's a little bit more challenging. You have to use littler pieces of paper and make sure that you rub down all the edges so that it doesn't lift up off the pig. Because if it's peeling off the pig now, when the pig is dry, that paper's not going to be stuck down either. So you want it to be all stuck. All right, now for the nose. So I'm going to get a nice wet piece of paper. Do you see how long and skinny it is? I'm going to wrap it around that nose. Yep. And I'm going to put some paper in front of the nose. Like that, because you have to cover up all the plastic. So even if the plastic bottle is white, you have to cover all of that up with paper. Now there's a little bit I've missed right there. Got to cover that up too. So kind of long skinny pieces and rub them down. Notice how it's wrinkling a little bit. That's okay if you rub the wrinkles down. It will not matter. You don't have to make a perfectly smooth pig. A real pig would have some wrinkles in it. But we also want to cover the entire bottle. So I'm going to flip it over to this side and do this side of the pig's face. And we're almost done. There we go. Just one piece at a time. If you think that you might have missed a spot, just put another piece of paper over it. It does not hurt to have 2 layers of paper somewhere because you are overlapping your pieces anyway. See, I'm rubbing it down. Now, if you don't like getting your hands full of glue, you can rub down with your toothbrush like that. That works too. I just don't mind having my hands all gluey, so I just do that with my hands. And we will fix these ears when we stand him up right before we put the pig away to dry. Of course, I keep saying him. It could be a girl pig too. Yeah. All right, now we're going to stand up your pig. And some of the paper started tearing off of the back of it because I glued it to my paper, so I fixed that. So I'm going to fix the ears, make the ears stand up the way you want them, and then little pieces of paper like this for your pig's, top of your pig's face. This is the most important part of your pig. So even this piece of paper is too big. I'm going to tear it in half. And I'm going to rub it down. But if you get the paper wet enough with the glue, it sticks down real easily. Very nice. So anytime you are having trouble getting the paper to stick down, just take that back off again and rip it in half. Because small pieces of paper stick down better. Now they don't have to be microscopic, but the smaller the pieces, the easier it is to get them to stick. So you should not run out of paper. Probably 3 pieces of copier paper are enough, maybe 3.5, but it doesn't take that much paper at all to cover a bottle and the toilet paper tubes. Got a spot right there. So see, I'm looking for shiny places that look kind of grayish because that's the bottle. Oh, there's still a spot left. Sometimes when I'm holding this with my other hand, I'm pulling the paper back off again. If that happens to you, it's happening to me. If you can keep your hands wet with the glue, that keeps it from pulling the paper off. Or you can just rub some more glue over the whole thing if you think you've pulled some of the paper loose, because you don't want that loose paper. I'm gonna make sure that I've got, see, like this little thing hanging off there. Just rub it down. I think I still need some more on that ear. So I'm just about to run out of paper, but I think I'm just about done too. So that's a good thing. And you can always go back tomorrow when your pig is dry and see if there's any spots that you missed. You can always fix spots that you missed or spots that look a little thin to you the next day. Yeah, I have to look. Okay, your pig is all paper machéed and ready to dry. Make sure you've got the ears the way you want them. And if the ears keep going forward like this, you can put another piece of paper there to hold it up a little more, to support it. Support means holding it up, because the eyes are going to go here and you don't want the ears to flop down. Put it somewhere safe, and then you'll be ready to decorate it next.